Well, hello, everybody, and welcome back to our Talk of the Town podcast, where each week we bring you valuable insight and information that directly affects our local business community. I'm Danielle Hawley, and I'm proud to say that I'm the executive director of the best chamber of commerce around, the Fontana Chamber of Commerce. And I'm proud to bring you our Talk of the Town podcast with my co-host, Mr. Carlos Garcia from FYI Technologies. How's it going, Carlos?
Fantastic. Looking forward to today's guest.
Woohoo, me too. Well, this week we have a member of our Fab Five. And if you tuned in last week, we had Twanisha Pete, operations manager of Bebop. And I told you guys that we've coined a new phrase around here at the chamber. There's 5 of us girls here in the office. And so we're calling ourselves the Fontana Fab Five. It's a hashtag, right? It's already a thing. But we have Tori Ramirez, who is our member services coordinator. And we just love Tori. When you call the chamber, when you walk in, she's that bright, smiley face that greets you and takes amazing care of you. So I thought, we need to bring Tori on the show because you have such an amazing story. And I think people know you under your chamber hat, but we wanted to shed some light on who's the real Tori. What do you do outside of the chamber? So Tori, welcome to the show. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me. Excited to be here.
So Tori, we've been working together for almost a year now, coming up in July, which is so hard to believe that it's almost been a year. And you came in kind of in the middle of this big transition that was happening at the chamber. If you've been around any length of time over this past year, you know that we have just been growing exponentially here at the Fontana Chamber of Commerce. And so we restructured our team and just really thought about the future of where we're going. And Tori was a huge part of that and actually creating your position that never existed before you came on board, our member services coordinator. And so I want to talk a little bit about you. So we'll start there, but then also transition into how you found yourself here at the chamber.
Yeah, so I grew up here in Fontana. I went to Tokay, I did Almeria, I went to A.B. Miller, did the whole thing. I went to Cal State San Bernardino, that's where I graduated from, and then I stayed here locally. But yeah, I've been part of Water of Life, so this is how we connect everything, okay? So I've been part of Water of Life for over 15 years, and just getting connected. I started working at the bookstore there, so I've been there for over 6 years, and that's how I met Phil, and my family met Phil, Phil Cothran. So Liz actually, which is my sister, got connected with Phil, and that's how she found herself here helping you guys at the chamber, which is how I found out about the chamber. So before that, let me back up a little bit. I was working in healthcare. I worked in healthcare for 5 years. So I did that, I had this whole plan lined up for me, thinking I was going to be a physician's assistant. That was the main goal. And I worked through COVID, and it was very difficult. And I feel like that added time to my plate in healthcare. And I feel like I was there for longer than I actually was. My last year there, I was working in the ER as an ER tech, and it was just very difficult for me. And yeah, it was a whole thing. And I kind of just fell off of the healthcare wagon, and I still applied for PA school, and that didn't work out. But I feel like, well, that didn't work out, but that's God redirecting me, right? So God saying no, it's definitely a redirection. So after that, I left my healthcare position. I stayed at Water of Life at the bookstore, and I started working at Soul Cycle, which is a cycle studio in Pasadena. So I was working there for like 6 months, and totally random because I've always loved fitness. That was the way of coping with healthcare and difficult times. And so I've always loved fitness. So I went towards fitness instead of healthcare. I was like, I'm so burnt out. I want to have a job that is fun and that makes me happy. The money didn't matter. I just wanted to be happy and find myself again, just because I really lost myself in that healthcare position. I'm seeing all that negativity, and especially working in the ER, you see death like every shift.
Brutal.
And
yeah.
so hard. That becomes normal to you. And it's like you become desensitized and you definitely lose yourself in, it's depressing, but obviously God gives people with like the love for it. And it's just, unfortunately, I lost myself and I had to leave. And I'm happy I was able to make that big step and decide to leave, because some people just stay there because they're like, you know what, I spent so much time investing in this career and I don't want to give up, but I'm proud of myself for leaving and going into something that I'm passionate about. So that's when I started working at Soul Cycle for a little bit, something fun, something different. But I feel like I met so many different people there with different jobs and different personalities. They were actors, they were comedians, like just a bunch of random chefs. Like it was a bunch of random people that work there, right? So that definitely helped me build my character back and find myself again, just because I had lost myself for a while. And then it was just so far. I mean, in Pasadena, right? Because I still lived here in Fontana. So one random day I started, I was at the bookstore working, and Phil walked in and he was like, mind you, my sister had been helping here already at the chamber. And I was sharing with Phil, like, hey, like, it's been so difficult. I've been traveling. I don't even know how I came up. How are we talking about this? I don't know. But I was like, it's so far, I'm looking for something here close. And he was like, hey, I think the chamber's hiring. So that's where he kind of connected me with Danielle. And we took a little selfie and he sent it to Danielle. And he's like, hey, like, he's like, interview her. I know you guys are hiring. And that's how I literally ended up here at the chamber. So I came for an interview. I met Danielle. I felt like we instantly like hit it off. I felt like I was like, okay, I felt very comfortable. And I started here as the member services coordinator. So that's how I ended up here. Totally random. And I think it was God's placing for sure, because it was in his perfect timing. From healthcare to going to a job that helped me gain my personality back, to placing me here at the right time where I would be able to engage with our members as member services coordinator. I would have that personality to engage with our members and just be that person that builds that relationship for the chamber and just be a face of the chamber.
Yes, and I can totally attest to that, because I feel like this position literally was created for you. There's not one other person that I could think to fill this role. So you can never leave. No, I'm just kidding.
You're here for time.
I remember though, and I bring up the transition, right? We're very transparent here, just with the last year of history, and really thinking critically on not just staffing for what the needs were in the moment, but I was thinking future minded and what was the chamber going to need a year from now, 5 years from now, and really trying to anticipate that and restructuring our positions so that they made sense with what we're doing. And just because you've done something the same way for so many years doesn't mean you got to keep doing it, right? If it's working, that's great. But I'm really big on doing what's necessary for the season, and this season required the right people in the right seats to not only kind of rebuild and reshape the foundation of what we're doing here, but take the vision further and build upon that foundation. So I feel like it was a big ask in terms of, I knew what I wanted in my head. And you go through these interviews, and oh my gosh, anyone who's listening right now, you guys who have your businesses, hiring is just, it's rough, right? You go on Indeed and you feel like you're striking out, but I feel like we hit the gold mine with you, Tori. And I think that it was for both of us. I knew what the position needed, but I didn't quite know until you got in there, because you've far surpassed and exceeded what I originally wanted. And all the time we collaborate and dream up new things. And so it's really perfect just having you here, and you take it and run with it. And I think that's one of my favorite things about you. There's so many, but you're just such a phenomenal addition to the team. And I can't imagine us doing what we're doing without you. So I feel like as much as you feel like God had you here, I know God had you here just for me in this season as well, being such a vital part of just our team and what we're doing to move the vision of the chamber forward. So super excited about that. And of course, you mentioned your sister. Now your sister is going through nursing school, right? She's applying. So I know healthcare kind of seems to run with you girls. You're interested. Girl. Liz, your sister had done a great job, and she had worked with us over the last couple of years, and I didn't even know she had another sister, and here you are. So it's great that we've had both of you guys here working and assisting and helping us out. But we hope you're here for a while and just continue building what we've already started. But I truly believe that God brings, if you're listening to what he tells you and you watch for those the right open doors, right? There's a lot of open doors that open in our life, the right open door that you're supposed to walk through. So I feel like this is the right open door for you, and the future is bright, and we're just so excited to have you on the team.
So, and also I'm going to tell you this also from a member of the chamber. It is true everything you said about Tori. I mean, in the beginning, I always give her a hard time about her smile, just saying hi, right? Because if you don't know the story, I missed one time when I didn't say hi to her. So now I'm making a point to actually say hi to Tori. And that smile you see there is what you get every time you go to the lunches and every time you run into her. But you've done a phenomenal job. You've been coming on board all the questions I've had. So I really appreciate you being in that role, because it makes it easier for us business owners coming in and not really having somebody to kind of navigate the way things work and the way things run. So it's phenomenal too. So now that we talked about your job, I also hear that you have other things that you do outside of the chambers. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so obviously I mentioned that I'm super into fitness, and I'm an NPC bikini competitor. So yeah, I pursued that passion just to elevate my fitness and just push my discipline even further. So, I mean, with that comes a lot of training, a lot of strict dieting, just like a whole thing. But I absolutely love it. It's a passion. And I hope to be like that just face that loves God and is able to pursue like this passion with that heart. But yeah, that's what I do outside of the chamber. My goal is to hopefully break this amateur career and get my pro card. I have a competition coming up. Wow. And so hopefully I compete again in July and can get that pro card. But yes, and I definitely feel like this helps carry on to like my life and my career and my job, just because of that discipline aspect. I feel like that carries into everything I do, and it gives me that mindset to want to do everything to the best of my ability. So then that comes with taking care of our members and making sure that I am building a relationship with each of our members, making sure that we're growing and just being the best that we can be. So we all have that vision. And I love that about us, that we are able to just kind of be on that same page and want the best of the best and want to create a great place and create that community and create just growth for the community and just be that face of Fontana for Fontana. But yeah, it definitely helps carry into that for sure.
And in other words, don't mess with Tori.
Don't mess with Tori. Whenever I need to move something heavy in the office, I'm like, Tori, where are you? So I can attest to this, and I don't, I've never met anybody with such amazing willpower and discipline, and it inspires me and the rest of the office. And I feel like we're all on this health kick. And it's amazing. And, you're always so encouraging, but I want to dive a little bit deeper into what this takes, because we see it day in and day out, right? Someone brought crumble cookies today, and you can't even have one because of your strict program. And, we'll eat all the things that she can't eat, but I got to say, and this isn't just like a couple of weeks thing here. I mean, this is months. We're talking, this is a lifestyle, not just I'm on a quick diet here for a month. I really want to highlight that, because I think it is truly a testament to your dedication and striving to be your best. So what does your regiment look like? Share with us.
Oh, it's crazy. So I started my prep in January. So I've been on my diet and being super on, and we call them macros. Since then, my cardio just boosts every week. Working out at the gym, my lifts plus my cardio. Like right now, I'm on something called peak week because I have a show coming up. But my cardio is up to 85 minutes. Like it's just every day.
How many days a week? How many days a week?
7 days a week of cardio, and then I have 6 days of lifting. So my days off are like over
85 minutes of cardio, you guys. And we'll share playlists because I go for my runs and I'm like, man, we just think that we feel like we've blown through all these songs, so we're always saying, okay, well, we need some motivation here. But kudos to you.
With that said, man, I was like, okay, I gotta hide now. Jeez.
And at our luncheons with tapatillas there, and I'm like, the food looks so tasty, but I can't eat it. Wow. I just look from afar and. Mm-hmm.
And just for the record, this is all self-inflicted,
I can't even complain. Because I do this to myself.
But it's just great to see you set your mind to something and truly work hard for it. And she doesn't, if your coach is going to listen to this, she does not cheat. Okay. She sticks with it. Sometimes she says, let me just smell the crumbled cookies. Or she always says, oh, you should eat that. You guys should really eat that. So I think
enjoy your life
for us. But just the discipline is on a different level, girl. So kudos to you. Yes, but it's all going to be worth it with your competition. And I think just, that lifestyle choice, right? Because even when you're not competing, you're still fairly healthy, right? I mean, I don't think I've really ever seen you eat a bag of chips or anything. I don't know.
I'm so good right now. But yeah, the goal is definitely to live a healthy lifestyle. I've always been into that. Just being the healthiest person I can be. And I love seeing like you guys definitely like also get on that kick too, because I love to see people thriving and just being that little like boost of, help. So I'm happy that
accountability. I feel like that's good accountability. So who knows, maybe down the road, if you're listening and you want to get fit, maybe Tori's your girl. Maybe we see some like coaching, I don't know, some sort of YouTube channel when she gets her pro card. It's going to happen.
I need some tips. I'll definitely be talking to you about that.
I'm like, when do I have time for that?
I know. Down the road. We're gonna get the pro card first, and then you can add all of those things. But it's definitely things that you're adding to your repertoire of just your skill set, right? And I always say these are the tools in your tool belt, and so that's just something that you can. Right, we do things so that we can help other people, and so it's just been like I said, positive in our environment because I feel like we're coming your way and being healthier, and we have that good accountability. Before we wrap up, I know we talked about your history. We talked about what you do at the chamber, what you do outside of the chamber. I just want to bring it back to your role here. And if, we've talked about your title and we know what you do, but maybe you can describe, what it is specifically that you do as our member services coordinator and why that matters to our members or potential members.
Yeah. So, my goal here is obviously to create a relationship with each and every member. I want to get to know you, your business, and just help you thrive. And I think that's the goal of the chamber. I am in charge of our marketing as well. So that's our e-blast, our newsletter. So that's just our in-house marketing aspect. Social media. I am also in charge of planning ribbon cuttings. So that's a big one. People love those. Our luncheon plaque presentations. I also do that and coordinate that. But yeah, just everything that you guys would need, I feel like I take care of. Obviously connecting with you guys on the daily, making sure that everything is done to get you guys out there, like your directory. I'm also in charge of the website, you guys, making sure you guys are in the know of what's going on, anything new I'm creating content for and putting it out there. But I feel like that's the bulk of what I do, and everything in between. There's always something going on and always something to improve on. So just taking care of all that stuff, but always busy and always connecting with the girls to make sure that we're being the best that we can be.
Love it. And you do a fantastic job taking care of our members. So if you're thinking about join. You are in excellent hands. You will be well taken care of. And there's 5 of us. So, Tori takes care of our member services, but we have a whole staff here dedicated to continue our mission of being the advocate, voice, and resource to our local business community. And we've been doing that for 110 years, you guys. 2024, 110 years. I'm going to say it over and over and over this year because that is a huge accomplishment that we are so proud of, to continue this rich legacy that our chamber has within our community. And so we couldn't do that without our amazing staff. So Tori, thank you so much for being on the podcast, sharing a little insight into who you are outside of the chamber. But we so appreciate you and all that you do to take excellent care of our members and continue to further our mission. So we are going to wrap up again. Last week we had Twanisha Pete from Bebop. Week, Tori. Tune in every Tuesday, you guys. 10 a.m. Our new episodes drop. Catch us on all streaming platforms, YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. You can watch us. You can listen to us. So we make that little run on the treadmill not so boring. So we look forward to seeing you guys next Tuesday. Thank you.
Take care.